Entry-level escape, your blueprint for raises, bonuses, and promotions. This is a course presented to you by Dave Coughlin. So here's our syllabus, right? We have a course that's comprised of 8 modules. First module is going to be an introduction to the concept and a course overview. Then we're going to lay out the three-dimensional framework. This is your guide to being professional. Then we're going to step through each of the 3 dimensions of the framework. So your primary skills, your complementary skills, and your impact. Those are the 3rd, 4th, and 5th modules. The 6th module takes the 3D framework, puts it all together, and helps you to develop a 1-year plan for promotion. After we cover the 1-year plan, we move into tripwires. These are sneaky little behaviors and mindsets that undermine your promotion. And then finally, we're going to wrap it all up and you'll have completed the course. Introduction and course overview. Welcome to Entry Level Escape. I'm going to be your guide towards your first or next promotion. So let's talk about you. Your early career, maybe you're a fresh grad, and you're looking for guidance on how to progress professionally. You don't literally have to be entry level to benefit though. Really what we're looking for is the junior most person on most project teams or any individual contributor in general. And if this is you, welcome to the course. And here's how I'm going to help you. First, I'm going to give you some frameworks to teach you how to think about yourself as a professional. First, I'll talk about the value of becoming three-dimensional or well-rounded. Then, I'll teach you how to think about your skills and your impact. Then, I'm going to cover how to take all of those teachings and apply them by turning your your promotion into a project with a 1-year plan. As a fun add-on, I'm going to point out some tripwires that can slow you down. Again, tripwires are subtle behaviors and mindsets that undermine your ability to get promoted. Entry level work sucks. Let's just throw it out there. It sucks. It is monotonous, right? You're doing basically the same thing day in, day out, and it's not very difficult, right? Oftentimes, very simple work that you're just repeating day in, day out. It's uncreative, right? You're often doing without thinking. You're executing someone else's ideas. Your boss comes to you and says, I need a report that shows sales by quarter with a breakout by market. Okay, like what's left for you to do? And that's just reporting. There's all kinds of things. Oh, I need you to build some copy that helps to sell our latest product and make sure that you mention point 1 and point 2 and principle 1 and principle 2 and so on and so on. I mean, they've basically all but written it for you, right? All of these different things happen all the time. That's just uncreative, right? You don't have room to define the solution. It fails to inspire. This is probably the worst. You come into your career, right? You have all this knowledge, you have all this training, you have all this desire to change things and make things better, and you're stuck doing monotonous and uncreative work to quote unquote pay your dues. And so what do you feel? Like you feel like your potential is being squandered. And that's why it fails to inspire you. You probably feel a lot like this guy, right? That's a hamster on a hamster wheel, right? You're on a treadmill to nowhere, right? Every day you wake up, same thing, simple tasks, basic tasks, repetitive tasks. You're not being creative. You're doing without thinking, and your full potential is being squandered. just like this hamster in theory, right? So we want to get away from this. But here's some more motivation to further fuel your escape. First, you're starting a huge and unprecedented climb, and it's unprecedented for you. You likely, if you're taking this course, you've taken the traditional academic path. You went through, kindergarten through 12th grade, went to university. Maybe you've already done a master's degree. But let's say you've spent 25 years of your life doing school, right? Your career is going to probably be in the neighborhood of 40 years. Okay? So by default, it's much larger. Okay, just less than double. However, you weren't driving your education for the most part, right? You went to the kindergarten that your parents sent you to. You probably went to the high school that your parents sent you to. Hell, you might have gone to the university that your parents sent you to. Now in your career, suddenly it's all you, right? And that's just the difference between driving and size. There's another one that I think catches people off guard as they transition into their career, which is that time does not guarantee progression. Effort does not guarantee progression in a professional setting. So while you're in school and the completion of the third grade tasks led to a quote unquote promotion to fourth grade, in your professional setting, that's not guaranteed. You could be an associate analyst for 40 years and retire. I mean, they might kick you out to make room for someone that has more mobility, but that's a side point. For you, in order to go from, say, the associate analyst to the senior analyst or anything like that, you have to do something different. It's not guaranteed. Additionally, you went from the top to the bottom, and that hurts. So not only are you beginning the biggest climb that you've ever attempted, not only have you transitioned from being largely driven to largely the driver, but you just went from the top of your specialty, right? Those capstone courses and capstone projects in your training or academic experience are really satisfying, right? And the seniors have a certain bit of clout at the university, or people who are at the end of an independent study curriculum like with Coursera or something like that. That's exciting. You're doing really hard stuff. And then you start over in a professional setting and you're not only at the bottom of the totem pole, which is sort of normal, you've done that before, going from 8th grade to freshman year, going from senior year to freshman year, but the work isn't getting harder as you move along, right? So doing, let's say, 8th grade math to high school math, there was a progression. So even though maybe you dropped on the totem pole, you're still being stimulated by progressively more challenging coursework. In the professional setting, they drop you to the bottom of the totem pole, and the work is generally below your capabilities. So that's now a recipe for boredom, demoralization. And so in order to get out of this rut, in order to basically control your own mental health, you've got to get off the bottom, right? And that's another reason why you want to escape entry level. And then finally, the lifetime earnings can appreciate so much faster the earlier you can start getting those raises, right? And so these are just some numbers here on the page, but those early career promotions and raises compound, right? And so you can imagine somebody who starts their career at $50,000 and they get consistent 3% raises for 10 years. They're going to be making $67,000 per year after that. Now, whether $50,000 of salary is exciting or not, that's besides the point. Whether a 3% raise is reasonable or not is beside the point. The point is, without that discontinuity, without that step up early on, just starting at a certain level and naturally compounding, they're at $67,000. When you compare that to somebody who started at 50K after 2 years get promoted to 65,000. So it's a $15,000 raise. Again, whether that's high probability or low probability of happening is a bit immaterial. But if you have that same person who got that early promotion and then nothing else happens, but they continue to work for 8 more years and get consistent 3% raises, they're going to end up at $82,000 salary, right? Now, the difference between the two is that, basically that 15K that they got initially, but that 15K happened in year 3. It was present in year 4. It was present in year 5. It was present in year 6, and so on, because they got that early step up. Now, this is a bit contrived. The numbers are all make-believe, but also the it's contrived that the person who got that promotion at year 2 wouldn't get another promotion, right? Because these usually lead to positive feedback loops where the promotion gets another promotion until you finally sort of max out. The sooner you start those promotions, the sooner you get to pull forward all of those extra monetary benefits, right? And just to really illustrate this, right? If you imagine, say, the CEO of a large company, Fortune 500 company, let's say that, you work your way up to, that's your goal, and you work your way up and you get that job at 55, so you can enjoy it for 10 years before you retire at 65. Getting that CEO pay package for 10 years. Or work your way up even faster, even harder, and potentially get that same role at 45 and enjoy that executive pay package for 20 years. All right. So even if the upper limit is the same, why not work to pull that forward so you get even more years of that upper limit? So here's 3 more reasons why you want to really push yourself to escape entry level. Now, I've seen arguments, and some would argue that entry level work is necessary, right? You have to learn, you have to pay your dues. But my counter to that, besides the fact that entry level work sucks, is why would you want to pay more dues than you need to, right? You don't go to the grocery store and pay $100 for an $80 basket of groceries. So why would you spend more time in entry level than you absolutely must? So think about this. You're applying your primary skills, which I'll explain a little bit more in the primary skills module, that took you 4 to 12 years to develop, depending on what you're doing as a career, maybe 4 years of undergrad, maybe even just a sequence of independent study courses through like a Coursera or a Udemy. But the point is, you've already made a large time investment to master these concepts. And then you start working on tasks that probably take you 3 months to get good at, to master those, right? So you've already done 4 to 12 years of formal training. Then they're asking you to do work that you've basically nailed in 3 months. So why keep going once you've mastered that? Why stay there doing the same stuff? What, so that you can have some arbitrary time in role? So because the guy before you, the person more senior than you, had to stay there for 2 years, like why? Why bother, right? And so just go for it, right? Well, I'll teach you how to escape entry level, but this is like the last sort of spur to you as you build up the commitment to this escape, right? You've already spent a ton of time getting good at this stuff, and you've mastered the role. You've mastered those repetitive tasks. Let's get you onto the interesting stuff. Okay? If you want work that's going to leverage your full potential, if you want work that's going to interest you, to engage you, to inspire you, right? To basically reverse all of those drawbacks that I showed you a couple slides ago, as well as pull forward some of that higher earning potential, that's all right around the corner. Okay, you just have to make your entry level escape. And now I'm going to teach you how to do that. The meat of the course spans 6 modules, and this is how you're going to learn how to escape entry level. So the 3D framework is going to lay the groundwork for why you want to be well-rounded if you want to grow professionally. The primary skills module is going to discuss the skills that are core to your role, the ones that got you hired. I'll explain way more, but this is what's on the job description. Complementary skills are the subtle skills that are not usually on the job description, but make you stand out relative to your peers, and these are the difference makers that unlock those promotions. Impact will teach you how to align your work and your mindset to your organization's mission. That will allow you to justify those raises, those bonuses, and those promotions. Your 1-year plan will help you turn your promotion into a project that spans an entire calendar year. There's lots of really wonderful reasons why treating it like a project is to your advantage. And finally, those tripwires, those career limiting behaviors and mindsets that I'm going to teach you how to avoid because they definitely cost you time and keep you trapped in entry level.